Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest and, let's be honest, most frustrating mysteries out there. You're getting a certain vibe from a guy, but you just can't be sure. Well, today we're putting on our detective hats to decode those signals.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's that fine line between a friendly gesture and a sign that he's actually interested. And man, that line can be so blurry. It can make you second-guess every single thing he says or does.
But hey, that's exactly why we're here. We're about to break down 8 key signs that he's secretly interested. You can think of them as clues that'll help you solve this case. So you ready? Let's start gathering the evidence.
Our first stop is all about his behavior. You know, the things he does, maybe without even realizing it. Body language can be a huge tell, so this is where we're going to start our investigation.
So, the very first clue is all about what's not being said out loud. When people are interested in someone, they communicate a ton of stuff through nonverbal signals. So, what exactly should you be looking for?
Let's break these down a bit. When he leans in closer while you're talking, he's literally trying to close the distance between you two. That's a big one. Or if he starts mirroring your actions, like you pick up your drink and a second later he picks up his, that's a powerful subconscious way of building a connection. And you should definitely watch for any fidgeting or little grooming habits, like fixing his hair. That can be a total dead giveaway of some nervous, excited energy.
Okay, this next one seems kind of simple, but it's a really big deal. I mean, time is our most valuable thing, right? And where someone chooses to spend it says everything about their priorities. So if a guy is consistently looking for ways just to be around you, that's a major clue.
So, how does this actually play out? It might be super obvious, like he's texting you a lot or always inviting you to do things. But for a guy who's a little more on the shy side, it might be more subtle. You know, he might start accidentally showing up at your favorite coffee shop or bumping into you in the hallway, all just hoping it leads to a conversation.
All right, let's move on to our next set of clues. We've looked at his actions, now let's analyze what he says. And maybe, just as important, what he doesn't say.
Okay, think about your recent conversations with him. Has he mentioned dating anyone else or talked about other girls he thinks are attractive? If the answer is no, that's probably on purpose. He's trying to send a really clear signal that you're the one on his mind, and he definitely doesn't want to give you the wrong idea.
When a guy is genuinely interested, he gets curious. He wants to know more than just the surface-level stuff. He wants to understand what makes you, well, you. He'll ask personal questions and, this is key, he'll actually listen to the answers.
He might start trying to figure out if you're even available, you know, asking questions that seem kind of casual but are really just him trying to gather some intel. And then he might move on to this classic. When he asks this, believe me, he's not just making small talk. He's trying to see if he fits the description and maybe get a few hints on what he needs to do to get your attention.
Okay, let's move into our third category. Now we're looking for signs of deliberate effort, clues that show he's actively trying to win you over. Have you noticed him suddenly talking about his big accomplishments or showing off some hidden talent, or maybe just cracking funnier jokes whenever you're around? This isn't just him being arrogant. It's a classic sign that he's trying to showcase his best qualities for a very specific audience, which is you.
And there's actually a pretty fascinating reason for this. It's all rooted in evolutionary psychology. We're basically all wired to present our most desirable selves to attract a potential partner. It's a classic display behavior. He's kind of putting all his best qualities on parade, hoping you'll notice.
Our sixth sign is all about that protective instinct. If he's consistently going out of his way to make sure you're safe, like walking you home or sticking right by your side in a crowded bar, it's a really powerful signal. It shows he values you and sees you as someone special he wants to look out for.
For our final set of clues, we're going to tune into the emotional frequency. How does the mood literally change when you two are together? This can be one of the most powerful indicators of all.
I mean, sure, anyone can be in a good mood. But you need to pay attention if his mood seems to consistently lift the exact moment you show up. A genuine, frequent smile that's directed right at you is a super simple but very, very telling sign that just your presence makes him happy.
So, the key here is comparison. Watch how he acts around his other friends or coworkers, and then compare that to how he is with you. If there's a really noticeable shift from his normal neutral vibe to a much more cheerful, happy one, well, that's your clue. That difference is the data you're looking for.
And finally, our last sign. It's not just about his happiness anymore. It's about yours. If he goes out of his way to make you laugh, or gives you really specific, thoughtful compliments, or even does little things just to brighten your day, that's a huge indicator. It means your happiness has become important to him.
Okay, detective. You've gathered all the evidence, you've looked at his body language, his conversations, the whole emotional vibe. So, how do we interpret all of this to finally reach a verdict?
Here's how to solve the case. First, one sign by itself is just an anomaly. You need to look for multiple signs happening together. Second, are these behaviors consistent over time? A pattern is way more reliable than a one-time thing. And finally, and this is so important, remember that these are just clues, not concrete proof. They point towards interest, but a real direct conversation, that's the only way to know for sure.
Now that we've gone through this whole list, was there a specific person who kept popping into your head? Maybe this little investigation has helped clear things up for you. Thanks for joining me on this one.